Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where last episode we pretty much finished up our battle in the Pacific. There's still I think a couple of places we could attack out over here. There's this for sure, and there's probably one or two others, but it doesn't really matter all that much. At this point, we are turning our attention to the Mediterranean, and at this juncture, we need to get some naval superiority going on over here. So that's absolutely noted. At this point, we can see that we have 20% naval supremacy here and 6% naval supremacy here. So there are a lot of British Navy forces out over this direction, and we need to start just chipping into them and sinking some of them. So that is ooh, that was very laggy. Okay, that's just kind of laggy. I guess that's fine. Sure. The United Mexican States declared war on the Mexican Socialist Republic. That's cool. Actually, we don't care. It's completely and totally irrelevant. So that seems fine for now. But one thing I'm noticing is we're definitely not seeing many engagements out over here. Now, one thing to think about is this is our range. We should definitely be seeing significant engagements here and less engagements here, given our respective ranges here. So that's absolutely noted. We are building radar here. I believe I just started that at the end of last episode, and that will start to give us some amount of additional intel in this area. So that would be very good to have, no doubt about that. I think our lack of intel is definitely a big issue right now. I'd like to get Tunisia taken out this episode. Ideally, we will see if we have any capacity whatsoever to do that. So these guys don't currently have any orders, and I want them to at least be closer. So I'm going to tell them to come on in over to, say, our capital of Bombay. We'll pull them over there. They'll be closer. They're not going to be in an exact position, and that's absolutely fine. So, we're seeing very few engagements up over here. That's absolutely true. And I'm wondering why. Are we actually out over here? Well, not all of these are apparently on naval strike. Now they're all on naval strike. So we've got 1,200 here and 300 here. We may want to consider moving some of those, but it's probably okay. How many do we have available right now? We do have a few. So let's bring in 100 of them, and those are going to go up over here. Now, I don't know what the new ones that we have selected are. Let's put them all on naval strike as soon as this autosave is over. They don't appear to be assigned anywhere. Or at least they're just deploying. So let's just select all of these that are currently deploying right down over here. And they should all be here. There we go. Okay, so now we see a naval battle here. That's good. Yes, we lost some advanced maritime patrol planes. That's okay. This is what we want to start seeing, is some battles actually occurring. So hopefully that will start doing that. Our radar station is now level 2, giving us 35% coverage over the eastern Mediterranean Sea. I don't expect that we'll have significant radar coverage out over here anytime soon. We could make ships that have radar coverage. That is a potential option. But for right now, this is probably okay. I'm just hopeful that we'll eventually start getting actual coverage out over here. So let's check in on our naval situation. 21.8 versus 3.8. Okay, so we need to have at least 50% naval supremacy in both of these regions to launch this invasion. And in order to do that, we just need this to go, right? So I'm going to tell them to go as soon as they can if they get an opportunity. They have currently prepared in full, so that looks good. It did say division still preparing, but for now, this is fine. So we now have some ships up here. This is now at 19%. We've not seen additional engagements outside of this one. So we're having a really, really hard time finding the British ships, it seems. Our radar station here is now level 3, giving us 85% coverage over the eastern Mediterranean Sea. So that looks good, but we're not going to have any coverage up over here, and that's potentially problematic. So another thing we can, of course, think about doing is trying to purchase our way out over this direction. We do not appear to be able to purchase Alexandria, though, and that's a significant problem for us. We could try to go all the way around over here and open up a front, like, up this direction. That'd be kind of funny. I don't know that we're going to be able to do that, though. This other war needs to end. We can't purchase this because these territories are not actually owned by Yugoslavia. They're only controlled by Yugoslavia. So that does give us a significant problem there. Okay. So that's noted. We are definitely having an issue with this. So let's think about where can we do purchases? Well, we could absolutely try to purchase Cairo, and I think we should. Okay, the UK accepted that. They gave us Cairo. That seems excellent. We should, of course, begin working on building civilian factories in the locations those were taken from, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and apparently 6. Okay. So that seems fine for now. We'll get those underway. So here in Cairo, you might ask, why did we purchase this? Well, the answer is, well, I guess there's rubber there, but the real answer is because this will allow us to build a radar station that is slightly further west. And we need to build radar stations as far west as we can to try to get some intel out over this way. So if we look at this radar station, we can see we now have 92% coverage over the eastern Mediterranean Sea. This is now at level 4. And we want to get that a little further. So if we check in on the naval supremacy here, we can see there's still 39 to 100 enemy ships with orders to engage in this location. That's kind of a lot. But we have low enemy intel, so that's reducing our naval supremacy by 75%. That's our issue right now, is low intel, for sure. So one thing we could start doing is we could start trying to get some intel on them. That is definitely something that we can do. So we need to go into operatives map mode, and we can start working on building an intel network in London. And then we can have this guy come on down and start building in, like, Paris, like this. So we'll work on that. We'll try to get some intel that way. Hopefully that will help. But we're also building these radar stations, and those will continue to progress. So we're at 92% radar coverage in the eastern Mediterranean at this time. That now put us up to 100% coverage. And we instantly see that we took down a Turkish convoy here. Okay. Hopefully that will continue in this region, because we would really, really like to have additional naval supremacy here. 40 to 92 and 16 to 37 out over in the central Mediterranean. So that is absolutely understood. Intel level is still considered low here, though. So that's noted. And these guys are both on patrol at this time. So we have low max speed. That's absolutely understood. That is a bit of a problem. So strike force is not really what we want. Yeah, none of these are really what I want them to be doing. What I really want them to be doing is just gathering intel. Our actual power doesn't come from our ships. It comes from sinking convoys and sinking ships with our planes. So that's understood. Out over here, we started to see an actual engagement. That's good. We are starting to see engagements now. Okay, this is very, very good. This is an excellent sign. We want to continue to just harass them from this airbase for the moment. This airbase can't fully reach this area, and that's understood. But we did manage to take down a Japanese convoy over here. What I'd really like to start seeing is, here we go. We took down an early destroyer. That's what we want to see. So we now have this radar starting to come online. It will reach slightly further over. We can see that we're now getting 16% coverage in the central Mediterranean, so we're definitely getting much better intel out over here. Naval supremacy is still only scaled to 77% here. That's understood. So here we took down a convoy. Here we took down 3 convoys. So we're definitely starting to harass them out over here. That's exactly what we want to see. There's going to be a bit of a attrition battle at this point. So we're continuing to take down convoys. And we're just waiting for the opportunity when they are forced to abandon this area. It'll happen eventually. And we're going to continue to boost up our fleet strength. But we're not very fast, so we have a hard time catching them. And that's absolutely fine. Here we trade 1 plane for 4 convoys. Here we take down 3 convoys. That's another convoy gone. Here's 2 convoys gone for 2 planes. This is all absolutely excellent. There's another convoy gone. So we're starting to see real, actual naval progress out over here at this time. I'd like to see more naval combat ships taken down. But as of right now, this is looking good. So this radar station out over here, this is a level 6, and it is reaching out over this direction. It's not fully giving us coverage, but that's expected. This radar station down here now, it's a level 2 at this point, and it's only giving minor coverage over the Eastern Mediterranean. We are going to have it reach a little ways into the Central Mediterranean. It's not going to be tremendously far, I suspect. So at this point, we see 100% naval supremacy in the Central Mediterranean. They have abandoned that. And then over here, we're seeing 24%. I'm going to take this army and I'm going to tell them, just head over to the eastern at this point. I'd love to launch this attack, and once we get there, we are at 54.8. Okay, I think we're launching the attack right now. So we took down 2 convoys here. That looks great. They left this area presumably because they were being harassed a lot by planes. And that's absolutely fine. So we can see now, these guys have departed. So I want to take our fleet that is over here, specifically this fleet, and I want to change this fleet over to naval invasion support. So that is now going to escort our naval invasion and attempt to support it up over this way. So the naval invasion is underway. We can see that we've taken down 2 convoys here. This is taking down 2 convoys in exchange for a plane. And this is taking down a convoy for a plane. Up over this direction, we just took down 2 convoys. Perfect. So we just need to get out of the Eastern Mediterranean at this point. Now we're in the Central Mediterranean, and there's no contest out over here, remarkably. This should be a safer place for them to be than here, but okay, if that's what they want. 2 planes for 3 convoys there. I like it. And if we can take Tunis here, that's a big deal. That's a huge, huge deal. I'm noticing this right here, which is a little rude. Okay, they took it back. Good. So we're going to be launching this attack down over here very shortly. The question is, how much defense do they actually have down here? I'm not expecting much. Is that completely undefended? That looks undefended. Beautiful. Okay, so at this point, we have successfully landed, and now what we need to do is immediately begin work on a naval base, and I'm building it here. It's not letting me build it here. Now it is. But only 1 level at a time. Control and shift aren't working. What? Okay, we'll build 1 level at a time and then move that up. Shift works there. I don't know why I couldn't control shift click this to build this at the top of the queue. That's bizarre. So we're going to do that, and we're going to immediately begin digging in all of these places. Once again, control shift isn't working. I'm going to try tabbing out quick and back in. Wild. Maybe it just needs to update. It doesn't really matter. Let's just do this for now. And let's start moving these guys immediately. So I really want to take control of this airbase. That's going to be huge. I want to roll up to about here. Oh, this is apparently owned by France? What? I don't think that's accurate. Controlled by the People's Republic of Spain. Is that not part of Tunisia? It looks the same to me. Maybe I'm just colorblind. I mean, I am colorblind. But, maybe. I don't know. So we're going to push this tank out here and this tank out here. The idea here is we are just trying to set up a line up here. So I'm going to send this tank out like so, and this tank up like this. There we go. So our tanks are grabbing ourselves some positions here. Now I'm going to wait till the day tick. Okay, the day tick has happened, and let's see if we can now properly queue these up. Yeah, that's fine now. So it just needed an update. Interesting. Well, let's get that going. Excellent. So we're taking over a lot of territory over here. This is immediately 400 airplanes. I want to work on bringing up the airbase here. So we want to upgrade this airbase as much as possible. The infrastructure here is already maxed, so that looks good. And we want to start building a radar station. Here is okay, but here would be better. Now, we're seeing that we are not getting any supply flow here. That's understood. I also want to begin work on a naval base here. There is already a supply hub there, though, so I'm actually going to cancel that. I think we'll just stick with this naval base. Okay. So we're starting to see the battle lines being drawn here. It looks like we're going to have this, but we're going to have to fight for this up here. So this is a different thing up here. Gotcha. So they have a force right out over here. But we can't go here because this is owned by France. But Tunisia controls this. They have a force there. What is happening here? France is fighting a defensive war. Okay. I'm very confused by this. We could ask for military access. They wouldn't give it. So we could just try to improve relations with them. And for now, we can just park a unit right out over here. Just a single unit of Marine. Okay. So this area is all under our control now, and we need to get these guys up over to here. So we have 12 divisions assigned to this right now. I really only wanted the one unit there. The rest of these are going to make their way up. And we do have a lack of supplies out over here. That's absolutely understood. I want to start building land forts in all of these areas that we've taken. Every single one of them. But the highest priority is still getting this completed. There we go. So we'll get started on that. We've got a couple of victory points down here, but what we really need at this time is we need to get this completed. That'll be done on 1 August. Understood. So once we have that, that'll be phenomenal, and we've definitely been continuing to harass them in the Mediterranean here. Ooh, look at that. Wait, what is happening here? Oh, this is all of our stuff here. We managed to sink 12 destroyers in that battle. That's insane. Okay, I like it. So at this point, we're just waiting for supplies to come in. We do have these 2 victory points, so we have a very, very, very slow trickle of supplies. But we're going to get that started, and we're going to get all of this dug in eventually. It is really odd to me that we can't move here because this is owned by France. But these guys are going to get kicked out of here, and this is not going to be a problem long term. So that looks fine. It's currently the 24th of July. We're just waiting till the 1st of August, at which point we are going to, and we can now have this guy be assigned up over here. We are just waiting for the 1st of August, at which point we are going to have our supplies start to flow in. It's going to be kind of slow, but that's understood. We do need to get these rail lines built up, and we'll get those underway. But yeah, supplies are going to be an issue out over here for a while. So that looks okay. It's the 28th right now. It is... They don't really have a chance to stop this. Now it's the 29th. Now it's the 30th. Even if they did an all-out attack, they're not going to get there in time. So at this point, we are officially entrenched. We now have a naval base right over here, and that is providing us with supplies. So that's excellent. We're going to motorize this, and we're going to motorize this. We need to upgrade these rails a little bit, but we now have access to supplies, and that means that I want to take our tanks here and immediately begin an offensive line up to here. We really want to get this. So, in fact, I'm going to assign everyone on this to that. Not just the tanks. We're going to attack with everything. And we're going to execute that. So in we go. We need to take a naval base up over here in this sea zone to make things far easier for us later on. It won't make it impossible if we don't get this, but it will definitely be more difficult. So let's push in. We see them retreating. Perfect. And this is so awkward over here. It's so awkward. But it should be okay. So at this point, we're going to need to grab some units and have them be out over here to help hold this. Because we can't actually attack out over here, but there's some awkwardness ongoing. But we need to go up and take Tunis. And so far, so good. Everything is looking great on this front. They're trying to attack us here. It's not going to go well. As long as we take Tunis or Bizerte, either would be fine. We're good. This, I don't know what sea zone this is in. It could be in either. So we would have to check that. Okay, looks like Tunis just fell. Indeed. And Tunisia just capitulated. Perfect. So there's no longer any conflict over here at this point. Tunisia has now capitulated. And now what we need to do is we need to set up an invasion of this. And this is going to be significantly tougher for us. I kind of want to attack right down over here.
Hey, come on.
But if we don't get one of these naval bases, I don't think we should proceed with the attack. So what that means is we do a naval invasion order from here, like that. And we attack both of these naval bases, but not anywhere adjacent to them. This is going to be a much harder target for us, but at this point, I want to take our units that we sent over here, which was these guys, and they didn't all make it over there, apparently. I want to have them start to head off over this direction, which apparently they don't really want to go. A lot of these can't transport from a non-naval base location. Where are those? Huh. Why don't you guys come on over here? And then from there, we can have them come into here. At least once they arrive. So that's fine for now. And then if we were to check on our naval situation here, I want to now take this patrol unit and I want to move it up over here. We don't really care about this so much anymore. And then we want to grab our naval invasion support unit, which is this, and we want them to be up here. We don't care about either of these positions. These submarines, honestly, they can come up over here too. This is the only sea zone we care about now. So this airbase is being updated. That seems great. We can take about half of the units here. So we have 160 selected right now. Noted. That gave us 132 selected. Let's start moving these over. I'm not sure how many we actually have here. Is this showing us the number of planes? No, that's 1320 units. Okay, they're going to now come up over here and start working on the Western Mediterranean, like that. There we go. And we immediately see that we attacked some of these early destroyers, but we did not succeed in destroying them. So naval supremacy here is quite high. That looks good. We have a patrol unit here. It should not actually have any orders here at this point. We don't really care about this area. Harassing them out over here is fine, but as long as we control the entrance to the Mediterranean, we can kind of come after this at our leisure. Yeah, they control this territory. I don't really care about it necessarily, though. So that seems fine for now. So we have no units assigned to this, apparently. There we go. Now we have 24 units assigned to it. That looks good. We don't really want to launch that whenever we can. We'll see when we want to launch that, but right now is not the time. So we took down an early destroyer there. Nothing here. An early destroyer here. Took down 2 destroyers there. That looks good. What's the status of our... Oh, we don't have radar here, do we? We are going to want to make sure the infrastructure is good up here. It looks to be good. Okay. And then we definitely want to get some radar being built up here in Tunisia. So let's get that going to get us some radar coverage out over this way. But there we took down 2 destroyers. Looks good. There we took down 3 destroyers. And there's another destroyer gone. So we're clearing this area out pretty effectively at this point. Yeah, there's these islands out over here, and we can consider having, like, this unit maybe launch an attack up over here, but that's going to require naval control. I think we're maybe better off having them be out over here. So they go from here, and then they would attack, like, all of these locations. This is not a valid province for the invasion. Okay. I'd kind of prefer that they come out over here then. Like that. Okay, so they're going to make their way over. They'll arrive eventually. Wait, they're not assigned to this. There we go. Now they're assigned to it. They'll make their way over here eventually, and we'll see when they get around to getting here. Now, these guys, they should all at this point be at the naval base location, and we want to just have them come on over, and for now, I want them to be parking right here. Yeah, our transports risk being sunk while moving troops. We're aware. That's okay. We do have some unassigned divisions here. I don't really care all that much. Right now, what we really need to do is we need to get this invasion of Iberia underway. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to start up a much larger conflict out over this way. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Aurelio, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.